Hey guys, Biscuit Boy here. Welcome back to another video. Today's tournament was slightly different and actually a format I've never participated in before. This tournament follows what is known as Blader's Luck, and what that means is each player will present 5 Beyblades with completely unique parts. We will then assort those 5 Beyblades into a numerical order from 1 to 5. Players will take turns rolling dice with each number on the dice corresponding to the orders of your blades. So in other words, we will roll dice to cancel out 2 of your opponent's blades, and in this sense, this is where the luck aspect comes in, because you really have to hope the leftover blades are somewhat viable in consideration to your opponent's remaining base, since you don't really get to directly choose what base to use. Now that the rules have been clarified, let's get into the video. So this tournament actually took place at Zombies Cafe Underground, and the clip you're seeing right now is before the event even started. I just want to say that I thought this venue was so sick, but the height of the place was kind of small. You can actually see some people like Riaz and Baboy struggling to even stand up because they're just so tall. I just want to say, can never be me though, Cryson57. Rise up my short kings. So, moving on to my deck, not necessarily in this order, but I did start off with Cobalt Drake 160 Low Rush for just straight power. In Hasbro stadiums, if you didn't know, this thing is a straight menace. This combo is so good. Only problem is, today we'll be using TT Stadium, so let's just kind of see how this thing fares. Next up, I've got Aero Pegasus on 560 level for stamina and attack. I like the 560 because it has good weight distribution, and the Aero Pegasus blade is very wide, so it's great for just pushing other Beyblades out into pockets, extreme finishes, etc. Next up, Tirana Beat on 370 point, has great weight, stability, and the 70 height for downward smash attacks. Moving on, I've got Cobalt Dragoon 960 Elevate. This is my ace. It's great for spin stealing and stamina. And then finally, gonna finish it off with a very annoying meta build, Wizard Rod 360 Ball for straight stamina. So now starts the beginning of the tournament. And as you can see here, we're taking turns throwing dice. And what this means is that we are essentially cancelling out 2 out of the 5 of our opponent's blades. So whatever is left over is whatever they will be using. Once this process is done, we can reshuffle the order of our bays to our liking. So for the first round of the first matchup, I believe I'm playing against a blader named Oasis, and let me just start off by saying that is such a badass name. So in this clip, I started off with Cobalt Dragoon, and they're using Wizard Rod on Bull, but low-key I'm so mad at myself, because as of late, we've been primarily practicing in Hasbro stadiums, since Nationals is around the corner, and the qualified tournaments require us to play in Hasbro stadiums, so my playstyle's completely changed. So since this is my first matchup back on a TT stadium, I have to adjust to launching it to how I launch it in TT. But mistakenly, I light launched it thinking I'd get the easy spin finish, since that's how I play in Hasbro to kind of avoid self KOs due to how small it is, but I wasn't able to get it this time. I'm using Aero Pegasus on level, hoping for a quick victory with attacks, but I can't lie, I was so wrong. When her Hell's Chain, I think it's on point, absolutely pocketed me. You know, I thought I could make a comeback since both my Wizard Rod and Cobalt Drake got cancelled out, so my final bay is Tirana Beat 370 point, and I'm facing against Shark, but I got destroyed. And I hadn't scored a single point so far, so it really just was not looking good. Here's just some more footage of some other bladers playing. Everyone's just rolling dice and just reshuffling the deck. Not really too much else to say here. You can kind of just gauge how the games went by this, so just see how it was run. For my second matchup, I'm playing against Josh. I actually went on a Beyblade livestream with him previously. I didn't show off the dice rolls, but I'm using Aero Pegasus, Cobalt Drake, and Cobalt Dragoon for my lineup, and I just got extreme finished right off the bat, and I'm just literally on a straight losing streak, it seems. But now I'm using Dragoon on Elevate versus Golem, which I thought would be a tricky matchup since I know Dragoon has a hard time spin stealing from certain blades like Golem and Jumbuster. So I thought I'd lose out on this one, but we'll just have to wait and see. And luckily I did manage to secure a spin finish. Drake versus Drake, an exciting matchup. An Impact Drake beat the OG Cobalt Drake, and it seems like, yes it can. Damn, I'm getting absolutely dog walked this whole tournament, man. So after 2 back-to-back losses, I had to take a breather. I was legit questioning my life, all my choices I've made to get to this point and where I'm at life right now. But also here are some lovely panoramas of the venue. There's a lot more people by this point, as I think we're around 2 rounds into the tournament. And I think this place is just crazy, man. When you walk into this place, you wouldn't know from the outside that has this cool secret underground section filled with games. We've got PS4, even got a bunch of board games, as you can see right here. Just like a very, very cool place if you're like interested in games. And once again, this place is called Zombies Cafe. And yeah, it was just a very, very cool place. So for my next matchup, I'm playing against a blader. Her name is called Mimi, and luckily I'm starting off with Dragoon, trying to either secure a spin finish or a knockout, just like that, as you can see right there. And apologies for these atrocious camera angles. I'd actually forgotten my tripod at uni, so I was actually borrowing other people's, with permission of course. Side note, why is my Aero Pegasus just getting straight up bullied today? I don't know, man. But yeah, next matchup, I'm using Gold Wizard Rod. For my tactic here is basically just to outspin them. They're using Tyranno Raw, I believe, on level, and my tactic works. But yeah, moving back on to what I was saying about the Beyblade community, everybody is super friendly and very, very generous. So if you are looking to get into this community, just know they're very, very nice people. Here I'm using Cobalt Dragoon, Elevate again, bro, I'm just swooping in from behind. Oh my god, this is insane. Got the spin finish on that one. And next up I'm using my Aero Pegasus, and boom, bro. Extreme finish. Where was this energy back on the last 2 matches? I needed this. So a very, very quick update. I am now at 2 losses and 1 win. That was my first win of today. And let's just see if we can carry on the streak. Next up, I'm playing against a blader called Chris. Rolling the dice before a matchup to cancel each other's blades once again. And side note, I know you can't see it in this video, but he was actually showcasing me his One Piece watch that he bought. And I can't lie, I just thought it was so cool. I had to just mention it real quick. Alright, this matchup was crazy. Original pay to win versus new pay to win. Which is better? Spoiler alert, it's Aero Pegasus, I'm not gonna lie. But I can't lie, Drake gets labeled pay to win, and I'm gonna be so real, it's really not that good, like especially in TT stadiums. Like I know I rave about how much I love this babe, but generally Phoenix Wing is just better. Better balance, new mode, I believe it even has better weight. I mean, if you want to use Cobalt Drake, you might as well just use Phoenix Wing if you don't have that. I was rambling, but very quickly I'm using Wizard Rod, and who said this thing doesn't have great attack power? Okay, nobody said that, but my point is this thing is a menace, man. The score is currently 3-1 to him. I have been on a losing streak, admittedly, in my first 2 games. The score does have me sweating a little bit, but let's see if I can genuinely make a comeback right now. So we're both actually using the green Tyranno beat. I'm the one who outspun him. He went and picked up my bay, but yeah, he mistakenly picked it up. But yeah, so now the score is 3-2. Next up, my Wizard Rod versus his Aero Pegasus on level. In theory, he should beat me because I'm a stamina type, and he has the type advantage against attack types. We have made contact, and I did extreme finish him. So luckily for me, I did manage to make a comeback. I lost my first 2 games at the very beginning, if you guys remember, and I've now just won my last 2 games. I need 4 wins and 2 losses at minimum if I want to make it to semi-finals, because this is 6 rounds of Swiss. So let's just check out if we can do that. I think next up I'm playing against a very, very strong opponent who basically has the same exact setup as me, so stay tuned for that. So in my 5th game today, I'm playing against Richard, also known as Solo Cow. We're both using Dragoon on Elevate, and this was interesting because he literally just clinked me and just skimmed me and basically self-pocketed himself, so very, very lucky for me. Now it's Aero versus Aero, and I think he's using Underneedle on his Aero. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know why, but in theory he should out-stamina me if I'm unable to get the knockout on him. But this was generally a weird matchup. I think I did manage to tilt him over, and because of the shape of Underneedle, he ended up leaning too much that I believe it killed his momentum. But I was a little bit scared because, as you can see right here, my Beyblade literally looks like it's about to run out of stamina. But as soon as he starts tilting, his Beyblade just starts spinning out of control rapidly. Can I just say, what are the chances? We both used the exact same bays, given they were on different combos, but we still used the same blades back to back to back. I'm using my Tyranno and so is he. Both on point. Only difference is he's using a 60 ratchet, whereas mine's a 70, which I think just gives me the slight advantage for downward smash attacks to knock him off balance. Okay, at this point, I'm getting a little bit stressed. I just need one more win if I want to make it to semi-finals. So I thought, what better way to just take a weekend, look at everyone else's games, to kind of just take my mind off things. Next up, I'm playing against the event's organizers, BEYBLADE or B Cosmic. And when I say, he stood no chance. I absolutely demolished him. If you thought I was getting dog walked, you should have seen him this round. Yeah, and watch this as well. BEYBLADE, like prior to this, was telling me, I'm not going to give you an easy win. You're going to have to earn your spot. Bro, that was like the easiest win of my life. No offense to him, but bro, I actually smoked him. Okay, I'm not going to pretend as if I wasn't gassed right now. I did not think I was going to make it. When I had those 2 losses at the start, I genuinely thought, okay, I'm out. But somehow I managed to clutch it up. Got the 4 wins, 2 losses. Did make it into semi-finals. You will see right now, they call me out very, very soon.
6th place. Okay, it's biscuit. Hey, why did you do this to me, bro?
After name callouts, we had a very brief intermission, I think around 15 minutes. I was just messing around, checking out my Tyson launch. Bro, literally look at me right now. If I had my hair in a ponytail, dyed it blue, I'm literally Tyson, man. This is literally Tyson. Do you see how rapid that Beyblade is moving? Oh my god. This launch technique might be really overpowered. Do I use this technique in an actual Beyblade tournament? Let me know in the comment section down below. I feel like this would be way more hype if I was actually playing against somebody and I used this and I beat them. I think if I did make a Beyblade video where I did use this technique, I'd have to use a whole dragon deck so I can be like Tyson, where I use Dragoon, Drake. Alright, cool. So now I'm actually in the semi-finals. Once again, rolling our dice again, cancelling out their Beyblades. You already know how it goes. I've explained it enough times. You guys probably get sick and tired of this, but yeah. Just quickly rolling dice, cancelling out each other's bays. After cancelling out each other's bays, we've got to reshuffle them. I'm using Cobalt Drake, and when I say Drake versus Phoenix is one of my favourite matchups, but that was way too quick. She did actually pocket me before I managed to extreme her, so 2 points to her. Alright, Aero versus Tyranno beat, both attack types, and if I remember, yeah, I fling her into the pocket numerous times and she kept on trying to jump out, but no, sent her back to the pocket. Bam. So now the score is 2-2. I was actually kind of scared for this matchup because I'm using Tyranno beat, as you know, on a 70 height ratchet. And if you didn't know, she's using Shark Edge, which is very notorious for basically just bursting people's ratchets. So I thought for sure that if she got low enough, she would actually burst me. But nope, I managed to get spin finish on her. This was a cool matchup. It's my Aero Pegasus versus her Phoenix Wing. Both very similar in weight. I do believe Aero Pegasus is slightly heavier. I do have the slight advantage as obviously my Beyblade is quite wide. But I will say that the contact points on Phoenix Wing are probably a lot more predominant. They jut out a little bit more, so I feel like you'd probably get a little bit more explosive attacks with that. Definitely an S tier rank part. Level comes in clutch though, and I get the spin finish. Cobalt Drake versus Shark Edge. Shark Edge has a lot more juttery contact points. Cobalt Drake doesn't actually have the best contact points, but it is carried by its weight. I do get the pocket on her, so I do get an extra 2 points right there. Okay, I actually felt so bad right here because she was literally just telling me, this is my first top 8. I was like, oh cool, I launched my Bey, first thing that happens, bam, just pocket you. Now she's out. She's no longer the top 8. Or rather, I believe she's been pushed down to losers bracket. And since this is the semi-finals and we're in the top 8, I was looking around, seeing what blades other people are using. One thing I will say is everyone has been using Cobalt Dragoon on Elevate, definitely, and also Wizard Rod on Bull. Those are two like very prevalent combos within the community right now. Just meta defining Beys at this point. Okay, so next up in the semi-finals bracket, I'm once again playing against Oasis, who in the first round did actually just destroy me. But I was coming in a little bit confident this time because, you know, I had now gotten used to using my TT launch again. I've gotten better at using Cobalt Dragoon again. So I was hoping I could make a comeback against her, and maybe she just beat me because she got lucky last time. But I don't know. We'll see. Alright, so it's Dragoon versus Shark. And you know what? I'm feeling confident this time. I did pocket her, but I think just because of how sharp the edges are on Shark are, I'm not sure what ratchet she is. Maybe she's using 160 as well, but that thing has hops to it, like genuinely. But it's okay because Shark doesn't have the best stamina, so I do manage to outspin her right here just with a little bit of life after death. Next up, I'm using Aero Pegasus on level. She's using Wizard Rod on Bull. Both meta combos once again. I was a little bit scared because Wizard Rod on Bull does have, I think, the best stamina currently out in Beyblade X. Aero Pegasus does offer great attack power, so I was trying to hope to either pocket her or extreme finish her. I don't think I was able to get that though. However, I was able to get an insane tilt on her, and I feel like that was my only real chance of winning because there's no way I can out-stamina her. If I can't get the spin finish on her or extreme finish on her, only thing I could do is try and tilt her. Wizard Rod versus Phoenix Wing. Can I get the out stamina, or will she try and pocket me or even extreme finish me there? I did have a little bit of a reverse X dash there. However, I was in the wrong position, so I did get smacked around a little bit. I was trying to play very, very cautiously. I didn't want a super tilt launch, or I didn't want a super powerful launch just in case I catch the X rail, and that can lead me to self KOing. So I did manage to regulate my strength right there and manage to get the spin finish. So I have actually just gone 3 for 3. I'm now, once after reshuffled, I'm using my Dragoon. She's using her Phoenix Wing. For me, Dragoon is my staple bait. I love it so much. Just think, first of all, the black coat just makes it look so cool. I'm not too much of a fan of the regular coat, the regular silver one. But the actual bay itself, I love. It's the only left spinning bay at the moment. It's got great stamina when you use it on elevate. It's got great attack potential. Only downside I will say, it is very, very bursty. So one hard hit and it's out. But I managed to get a spin finish here. At this point in the matchup, I was really happy. I was very confident. I had made it into semi-finals. I'd won my first game of semi-finals. I was now leading, I believe, by 4 points in my next match in the semi-finals. And soon to be getting another win, except from she just pockets me very, very last second. Shark is so OP, it's basically like a drum buster. Next is my Aero Pegasus versus her Wizard Rod again. I think we've had a similar matchup like this before. Managed to get the 2 points, so I'm now in the lead by 6 and she's got a score of 2. I think it's a reshuffle time right now. I'm using my Dragoon again and she just bursts me right off the bat. And at this point I was thinking, no way am I going to lose, because now it's 6-4. Alright, I'm using Wizard Rod versus Wizard Rod. Mine's golden, so hopefully it has, you know, the little bit of a buff. Only way you can get this one is if you win first place in a G3 tournament in Asia. I managed to actually win, but in Malaysia, and I ended up winning a gold Helm's Knight, but I sold that, ended up buying the gold Wizard Rod, so I basically did have to secure a win in Asia to receive this. We made first contact, and she literally extreme finishes me. I was actually devastated. Like, my feelings were genuinely being teased with. I lost to her in the first game. I was thinking I was never going to make it into semi-finals. Finally did make it to semi-finals, won my first game. Then in the second matchup, thought I could get a rematch. I was 6 points in the lead. I was genuinely thinking I was clear, and then bam, she just extreme finishes me, just like that. After everybody had witnessed my awesome Tyson launch, obviously because I'm a trendsetter, you know, everybody was practicing their launches. Got more Tyson launches. We've got Karate Kid launch from Armani. He's not very good at it though. Look, his Beyblade's like spinning off to the side. I don't know. For my next matchup, I'm actually playing against a kid called Blue, and if you haven't already seen previous videos, I have played against him before, I think in practice matches, but in official tournament settings, I don't think I've actually ever officially beaten him. Even though he's so much younger than me, he's just very, very good at Beyblade. But what I will say is, he did break my Cobalt Drake, and I will remember that. Not the one in the video, I have a very old one. He did break it because he sniped me midair, but I don't hold it against him. It's just for fun at the end of the day. It's a Dragoon versus Dragoon matchup. Mine's the black coat one. I think he's using 760. I really wish I had that, because as you can see right here, I'm using a 960, and I think 960 is just too thin and it just rides the rails, and with elevate's very, very burst prone. 760 doesn't really have that problem apparently. Next up is Cobalt Drake on Low Rush versus Nightmare on, I believe, Hexer he was using. He is basically using what amounts to a defense type in Beyblade X. I'm using all out attack. You could definitely see the advantage he has, because my Beyblade is just running out of gas, running out of steam. His one is slightly running out of gas, but because Hexter offers a lot of life after death, he managed to outspin me. It's so chill though. It's Wizard Rod versus Wizard Rod, and I was lying to you, it's not chill. I got burst straight off the bat. Honestly, I have no idea what's going on today. He's 5 points up, I'm at 0 right now. It was time for a reshuffle, and now it's Dragoon versus Dragoon. And let's just see if I can manage to either pot him out, or can I outspin him? I don't know, what's my move? Let's see. You know what I will say, I'll give credit to myself. I feel like I'm very good in Dragoon versus Dragoon matchups, and I can always secure that spin finish. Wizard Rod on Bull versus Nightmare on Hexer. Stamina versus defense. In theory, I should be able to outspin him. One thing I will say about Hexer is, I've personally noticed, especially with the blue mode, I'm not sure if this is for everybody's, but I find that the blue mode is very wonky. Sometimes when I launch it, it makes my Beyblade spin a little bit off balance. When I was looking at his Hexer, it did seem to be spinning a little bit off balance. Speaking of off balance, I thought for sure I was going to be scraping the floor and I was going to be the one to lose, but I actually somehow managed to clutch it. I genuinely don't even know how, but somehow I was just clinging into these matches by the skin of my teeth. Managed to burst him luckily. I thought I was going to get outspun on a spin finish, but luckily I didn't. Then finally it's Dragoon versus Dragoon, and as I've already mentioned before, I am fairly confident in Dragoon matchups as I feel like I have quite a strong launch, but I'm able to launch it in such a way that I don't typically ride the rail and I can usually outspin people. Rod versus Nightmare, yellow versus green, stamina versus defense. But my stamina, even though I'm primarily stamina type Bey, managed to pocket him. I actually just brought that back from the dead. I think I was 5-0 down and I managed to make it 7-5, managed to get the 2 points in with that last pocket. Now I think I've won 2 games in my semi-finals, I've lost 1, and I think I have one final matchup right now, and it's actually against a blader called Ray, who I'm very excited to play against because I've played Ray in, I think, casual play. I haven't been in this community for too long, so I haven't actually played against him officially in tournaments. I just know he's good, so I was actually waiting for this matchup. Okay, I will admit this was probably the matchup that I was most excited for this whole entire day. Use Aero Pegasus versus Golem, and I low-key underestimated the ability of Golem because look at how that menace just burst me straight off the bat. It's actually so funny because after going through this whole tournament, facing off people using 960 Elevate on Dragoon, I have now literally swapped it to 560, so now I'm going to be maining 560. And now it's Tyranno versus, I believe, Drum Buster. I don't think I've scored a single point this whole entire time, and he literally just extreme finishes me right there. That's it for me. Even though I was so excited for this, I didn't even score a single point, but here we all are at the end, doing money spread with my non-existent money because I came in 4th, and there was no prizing for the 4th place, unfortunately, but still managed to top in the top 4 though, and I was really cool about that. Haven't been in this community for a very long time, as I've said, especially in the competitive community. Beyblade community, that's a different story. Competitive side of Beyblade, I've not been in this community for a very long time, so to be able to say that as a newcomer I can consistently top in the top 8s, that is pretty good in my books. And now that this tournament is officially over with me placing 4th, that concludes the end of this video. Please leave a like, subscribe, and a comment down below saying what you did like and what you didn't like about the video. It just helps my channel a lot, especially with engagement, and just feedback is very important to me. But that's all I really have to say, so thank you guys so much for watching my video. Bye.